Hello, my name is Mark Ravi. I live at 1912 Jefferson Avenue. I live a block from the park. I've used that park since I was a child. Councilman Morgan, you're on the committee to dealing with mediation, correct? One of the things that we saw 2 weeks ago was that the mayor came in and put in parking spaces on North Parkway to help alleviate some of the parking issues. What I don't understand is why, with the Prentice lot, we've kept buses on it. Even just this weekend, we've had about a third of the space available for parking, but we couldn't because the buses were all in the way. We haven't done anything with the buses, and we haven't really. And there's no parking signs and buses only signs on the street parking that was just implemented. And there doesn't seem to be any type of movement forward to alleviate some of the parking off the Greens Award. And I just would like to know if you can answer that to some degree. Okay.
Sorry, lost my voice this one. Okay, here it comes. It's probably not an answer that everybody wants to hear right now because I hear it as some of the complaints. I promise that's part of the discussions, and we're talking about it, and I really can't go further than that in terms of confidentiality and mediation. But there has been a lot of misinformation, and I was in the park this past weekend and the weekend before. I was looking at the North Parkway spaces, and they're definitely not being utilized as efficiently as they need to be at the moment. It is still a long walk, and trying to cut down on that or find other creative ways. There are solutions out there, and they have been proposed, and that's part of the talks. And going further than that, I feel a little uncomfortable with the agreement that I signed.
Part of the questions that I guess we all have, I think, as a group and collectively as a city, is we've got this. The city's put forward a good effort to actually put parking spaces out there for people to use and utilize, but we haven't. The zoo's not making any efforts to do that. And what's the solution there for that? Or, I mean, that's something that
it's going to be the exact same answer. The efforts that are being made by one side or the other, I can't get into specifics about.
Understood.
And believe me, we are working very hard on this. We do have everybody at the table talking.
I believe that you are, and I'm sure this is. Yeah. I mean, obviously, this is a big issue in town, and it's kind of a stickler for a lot of things. So,
I think I expressed a lot of my frustration last week, where I was like, I wish it were moving faster, but that's not something I can force without.
Well, the last thing that I would ask is, we've got this ordinance in place. Is there a way to amend this ordinance to where we can have them use the Greens Award as the last resort today? Is that a possibility?
That is reflective of the March 1st resolution. It's section 10 of that resolution states that the Greens Award is not to be used except for on an as-needed basis for overflow parking. If you go by even any weekend, there was a weekend that wasn't even very good weather. It was below 55 degrees but sunny. To me, that's not very good weather. I don't like things below the 60s. But in the streets were still full, and there were cars still in the Greens Ward, and there were cars still full in the parking lots, Prentice lot included. Parking lots being full. So in requiring them to use North Parkway, that's going to be difficult, but again, it's part of the discussions, and I'm just not going to go much further than that at this moment.
Thank you.
Thank you. Catherine.